Before air travel was part of daily life, crossing the country was a long and exhausting journey. Trains could take days. Cars had to cross rough, undeveloped roads. But in the early 20th century, a small group of visionaries in Texas imagined something new, flying above it all. This wasn't science fiction. It was the beginning of a transformation. In the flatlands of Fort Worth, a few dusty airstrips and bold ideas were about to shape the future of travel. Texas may not be the first place people think of when talking about aviation history, but it should be. This is the story of how a handful of Texans helped create one of the world's most powerful airlines, and in the process, helped build the foundation of modern commercial flight. It's a story of business, innovation, and risk, and it all started not with luxury, but with letters, mail delivery by air. So how did a local operation turn into a global force? How did a Texas company change the way we all travel today? Let's go back to the moment when it all began. In the 1920s, aviation was still experimental. Planes were small, slow, and unreliable, but the U.S. government saw potential, especially in delivering mail faster. The post office launched airmail routes, and one of the key paths went right through Texas, connecting cities like Dallas, Fort Worth, and San Antonio. This turned the region into a strategic location for aviation companies. One of those early players was Aviation Corporation, or AVCO, based in Fort Worth. At first, they just transported letters, but they quickly began merging with smaller airlines, forming what would become a much larger company. In 1930, they rebranded as American Airways. Just a few years later, it would become American Airlines. Texas wasn't just a stop on a map, it became the heartbeat of a growing network. These small beginnings laid the groundwork for a much bigger idea: passenger flights. What began with airmail would soon take off in a whole new way. Carrying mail made sense. Packages didn't complain about turbulence or delays, but carrying people? That was a much bigger challenge. Early airplanes were noisy, cramped, and often unpressurized. Many believed commercial air travel would never become popular. But one man had a different vision. His name was C.R. Smith, a young executive at American Airways. From Texas, he saw a future where people would fly not just out of necessity, but by choice. Smith pushed for innovation, safer planes, better customer service, and dependable schedules. By 1934, under his leadership, American Airways officially became American Airlines, and it began focusing seriously on passenger service. Instead of just mail, they now offered cross-country flights, connecting the East and West coasts, with Texas as a central hub. It was a bold move, but it worked. More Americans began to fly, and American Airlines helped prove that commercial aviation could be profitable, practical, and popular. In the mid-1930s, American Airlines made a bold move that would change aviation forever. They partnered with Douglas Aircraft Company to develop a new kind of airplane, one that could make a profit carrying only passengers, no mail required. The result was the Douglas DC-3, introduced in 1936. It was sleek, reliable, and far more comfortable than previous models. Most importantly, it could fly long distances without refueling and land on shorter runways. For the first time, flying felt less like an adventure and more like a service. Passengers had legroom, cabin noise was reduced, flight attendants served meals, and suddenly commercial air travel felt accessible, not just to the rich, but to regular working Americans. American Airlines was the first to operate the DC-3 on a large scale, and its success proved the model worked. From its Texas base, the airline expanded rapidly, and soon the skies weren't just for daredevils. They were for everyone. As American Airlines grew, it solidified Fort Worth, Texas as its corporate home. While other airlines were based in Chicago or New York, American chose to keep its roots in Texas. This decision would shape not only the company's identity, but also the city itself. In the 1950s and 60s, Fort Worth invested heavily in aviation infrastructure, building larger airports and attracting new talent. Eventually, this led to the creation of Dallas Fort Worth International Airport, DFW, in 1974. Now one of the busiest airports in the world. With American Airlines as its anchor tenant, DFW quickly became a central hub for both national and international travel. Today, American operates thousands of flights daily, connecting passengers to over 350 destinations worldwide. And it all stems from the airline's decision to stay loyal to its Texan roots. Fort Worth isn't just a city with an airline. It's a global aviation center, built from a local dream that took flight. American Airlines didn't just grow, it led. From its headquarters in Texas, the company introduced major innovations that shaped how we all fly today. One was the hub and spoke system, where flights connect through major airports like DFW, making it easier to reach smaller cities without nonstop service. Another was the introduction of computerized reservation systems in the 1960s. American's SABRE system was a pioneer, streamlining ticket booking for airlines and passengers alike. And in 1981, American launched the first frequent flyer program, rewarding loyal customers with free flights, a concept now used by airlines worldwide. The company also helped push for industry deregulation in the 1970s, allowing for more competition and lower fares. From inside boardrooms in Fort Worth, decisions were made that rippled across the globe. Texas wasn't just a passenger in aviation history, it was driving the plane. And American Airlines proved that bold ideas, born locally, could fly internationally. Today, American Airlines is one of the largest carriers in the world, serving over 200 million passengers annually. But its heart still beats in Texas. Its headquarters remain in Fort Worth, and DFW Airport is still its primary hub. The company employs tens of thousands of Texans and continues to invest in the future of aviation through technology, sustainability, and training. What began as an airmail experiment in the 1920s became a global network. But more than that, it became part of the American identity, connecting families, supporting businesses, and shrinking the world. The story of American Airlines isn't just about airplanes. It's about vision, risk-taking, and resilience. And it all started with a group of Texans who believed that flight wasn't just a dream, it was a future worth building. From letters in the sky to passengers around the globe, the journey of commercial aviation has Texas written all over it. And that story still continues today.